Good morning, everybody, and happy Saturday morning, and happy birthday to all those beautiful babies born today on October 26th of 2024. It is 10:54 a.m., and you are watching and being a part of the Saturday Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew Show. So congratulations, you found us. And Eric is patiently waiting for me to get through the disclaimer like I always do, and then introduce our topic to start the conversation off today, which is pretty fascinating. Something I've been working on for the better part of a couple months now, researching it. And makes a lot of sense if you ask me. But then again, who does, you know? So let's see. The copyright disclaimer is Night Hawkeye Strange's podcast channel may use some copyrighted material without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use Act, which is the Copyright Act of 1976. Okay. Night Hawkeye Strange's podcast channel and all the podcasts on the channel. Man, what a rough night. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 makes allowances for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, which is going to be partly today, teaching, which is going to be partly today, research partly today, and general knowledge only. And let's not forget the entertainment value, which is every day. Per Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. Okay, that being said, let me get that off of there and say good morning to everybody, and then we'll get into the meat and the potatoes of it. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, my brother. Sorry, I was topping off my coffee.
Oh, hey, David. Perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Poncho, good to see you. Richard, good to see you. Twisted, good to see you. Roxanne, always good to see you. And there's that ED Testament, Roxanne. Keep an eye on him. That guy's got shifty eyes. Larry, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, Larry. Hope you're doing well. All righty. Let's see. Who else we got in here? We have, let's see. I know Robin's here. Good. David's here. And Melissa's here. Good to see you guys. Hope the campout's going well with the ECBRO. Had some activity last night at my place. So anytime you guys want to camp out there in the woods, let me know in advance so I can have my camera system set up, because I could have caught something last night. Even though there wasn't any It was all cloud coverage, so it was really, really super dark last night. But yeah, you guys in the ECBRO are a big plus to me. I get all kinds of activity when you guys are out in the woods. Anyways, Ida, good to see you. Kyle, good to see you. Riley, good to see you. All right. Let's see here. I think that's everybody. If I forgot somebody, I apologize. Just give a shout out in the chat. Say hello, good morning, whatever you want. I hope everybody's got their favorite beverage. I know everybody with the ECBRO is sitting around the campfire right now, drinking their coffees or at least finishing their coffees up, and probably really, really extremely tired and stiff because I know how those go. Oh, Corey, good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
David
The
said went great activity on camp outlet also.
oh, cool, cool.
We go out with fly swatters and punch but your way punched activity your way.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was. Let me tell you, if I had that IR working on that camera, I think I would have got something on video last night because Tracy and I took Jacob out, and it must have been probably about 1 or 1:30 in the morning. And we're outside walking around in the field there, near the tree line and all that. And next thing I know, I hear this crashing. It sounded like trees were getting pushed over, literally. And you know, we have this railroad track that runs parallel to the mountain range, you know, to the west of us. Okay, and in between the railroad tracks on both sides is wooded area. It's not very depth to walk into, but it encompasses the whole area because on the opposite side of the railroad tracks is woods and pasture fields where one of the local ranchers has all of his cattle and stuff. And that's where we see a lot of these lights and stuff coming down and in the field. And last night though, man, this thing, and it wasn't deer, it wasn't a bear. Bears are starting to slowly start to bed down a little bit, getting their last bit of food in before they go into some kind of hibernation, unless they're weird like me and don't want to sleep. Gemini Moon, good to see you. But anyways, to make a long story short, it literally sounded like the trees were being pushed down, and I'm out there with my flashlight, and the flashlight that I use, it's a powerful flashlight, but the only problem is the beam is a narrow focus beam. It's got the LED centerpiece of it in the flashlight, in the face of the flashlight. So the primary focus of the beam is like, when you're standing 100 yards away from something, you can see something if you light it up completely. With the flashlight, you can actually see it, but when it looks on camera, it looks like an orb floating in the tree line because of how bright it is. So I've got to figure out how to change all that up. So David, if you got any suggestions, that would be great. Kyle, good to see you. But woo, good to see you too. Anyways, but yeah, the noise was incredible. And hearing the whistling and stuff too. And there's a native thing out there that we don't whistle at night. Okay, we don't whistle at night. We're not supposed to because it draws the dark in, towards us, and we don't want that to happen. So native people don't whistle at night. Never have, never will. Um, so that being said, oh, good, you got some video then, Dave. That's cool. Rihanna, good to see you. Okay. Who else we got? I know somebody else snuck in here that I couldn't see right away. I saw Gemini Moon's in here. I know there was somebody else. Who was it? Oh, come on now. It's not Ida. I said hello to Ida. Who was it? Was it Riley? It might have been Riley. Riley was. I hope I said hello to you. Good morning to you. Let me see here. All right. Anyways, stayed out there for a little bit. After Tracy and Jacob came back in, and I didn't hear anything. So whatever it was, stayed completely still. But I had this overwhelming feeling of just being watched. You know how that goes, Eric. At your place, where you get
Oh, yeah.
that just that sense that you're being watched by something. So, but anyways, I wanted to share that with everybody. Because I know you've had activity over at your place, Eric, that you're going to talk about tonight on your podcast.
Yep.
But for right now, I want to go over some of the research that I've been doing. And there is this theory out there,
There you want to down.
and it's called the 1988 theory. Okay. Now, for those of you that aren't aware of this theory, we're going to be talking about repetitiveness in our lives. Okay. It's probably the only way to really describe it. But the 1988 theory is, in 1988, things started getting weird. Okay. Extremely weird. And then it just gradually got worse and worse with the paranormal and the supernatural and all the cryptid activity after 1988. It seemed to have ramped up. And we some of us, we can actually thank CERN for a lot of the problem, because I do believe they did the quantum entanglement with the timelines. But that being said, the 1988 theory started back in 1988, obviously, but I went further back in history. I went all the way back into 1928 and before then. Okay, so I really went in and I got into the meat and potatoes of it, and I found certain things that kind of make you wonder, was it the cause of a 12-year cycle? Is there such a control in our world that there is a 12-year repetitive cycle? Okay. Um, Now, let's see. 1988. Okay. Let's start with that year. Okay. It's the year that it was first noticed. Okay. In 1988, did everybody know that CERN, Switzerland, was the first, I don't even want to say computer, geek type of a summit on creating the internet? Okay, the World Wide Web, okay, in CERN, Switzerland, which ironically is where the CERN facility is in the Hadron Collider. Kind of, hand in hand there. Um, what and Bill Gates was a big part of that too, by the way. Okay, as that sneaky little SOB has his hands in everything, really. Um, Such a lizard person he is. He really is. Anyways, in 1976, 12 years before 1988, Bill Gates was involved in what was called the first Woodstock Computer Summit in California. Okay, now hear me out on this. It was 150 computer wizards. Okay, might as well just call them wizards because they are. Okay, including Bill Gates. And they basically were discussing AI and how it could, be productive for their goals, and basically introducing the connection theory of possibly connecting all the worldwide computers together in a world wide web. That was the precursor in 1976 to the 1988 meeting, exactly 12 years to the day. To the day. Okay. Larry, good to see you. Robin, good to see you. Um, so go 12 years after 1976. Okay. And when we go 12 years after 1976, we are looking at 1964. Okay. Now, we all know that in the early 1965s, the 1965, there was the Kecksburg, Pennsylvania incident with the supposed Nazi bell, okay, which I believe was the Nazi bell, by the way. And I'll explain that right after I finish up with this. But at the same time in 1964, 12 years to the day, and I'm telling you, these things are almost to the day, okay? The Great Alaskan Earthquake happened, a 9.2 earthquake in Alaska. Okay, one of the biggest and largest. They called it the Good Friday earthquake. Okay, and it shook everything. It did so much damage and catastrophic damage that it's amazing Alaska even recovered. Okay, because back then there wasn't a population, like there is nowadays. Um, but it all adds up. There's all these traumatic events. It's either scientific events, technology driven events, or it's natural disasters. It's almost like something is making this cycle continue a 12-year period at a time. Okay. Now, hear me out. 1952. I had no idea this happened in 1952, by the way. Um, and this is completely amazing. This tells you how long our technology has been around. In 1952, there was the first mechanical heart transplant in a human. In 1952, a mechanical heart. Okay. So that in itself is amazing. But also at the same time frame in 1952, the United States, technology wise, set off its first hydrogen bomb. Okay. The largest bomb they ever set off in 1952. Okay. In the testing grounds. They called the hydrogen bomb Michael. Now you take the name Michael. Okay. Now hear me out on this, okay? Because this does make sense. The Archangel Michael, his weapon of choice, because he was the warrior angel and defeated Satan, and his fallen is the flaming sword of truth.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what they called the hydrogen bomb. The hydrogen bomb was literally called the flaming blade of truth through the name Michael. So there's that connection. Okay. Now we go even further. Okay, we go to, and I got this written down because there's so much to it. After 1952 and 1940, okay, basically the full effects of World War II began. Another tragic event in history. Okay. And bombs were being dropped everywhere in the UK. People were dying, mass tragedy around the world, actually. But at that same time, in 1940, the beginning of 1940, the Axis powers, Italy, Japan, and Germany, all signed their war treaty agreement to basically start World War II. So you had that. See what I'm getting to? It's either there's a tragedy that happens or technology that happens every 12 years, like a vicious cycle. Okay. Now, I don't really even have to go on, but in 1928, okay, 12 years, okay, 1928 from 1940, the Nazi Third Reich Party, okay, because they were just a party back then, like Republicans or Democrats, that kind of stuff. But they actually started their Nazi racial theories, okay, where it was a racial hygiene cleansing theory called eugenics. Okay, now eugenics was where the less um, the less superior humans of the German um, population were either eliminated, they were discriminated against and isolated, so they couldn't wed or have kids. And we're talking people with physical handicaps, people with mental handicaps, people that are just, not athletic. If you weren't even athletic, say you were the smartest person in the world and you could play chess, but you weren't athletic and couldn't play soccer or anything like that, guess what? You wouldn't be having kids and you wouldn't be getting married. That's the way it was. Eugenics was founded on that. And at the same time, all around the world, eugenics was popular, including here in the United States. I bet you didn't know that. Right here in our own country, eugenics was started too at that same time, about how keeping the mentally ill and the physically handicapped from not breeding with each other like we're cattle.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that, okay? And that cattle theory is not far off from last night's conversation, if you recall, on Into the Red Rabbit Hole. We had that conversation about the human harvest, which, what are humans? We're slave and cattle. Plain and simple. This race of humans was designed to mine gold for the Anunnaki. Okay, we were literally genetically altered um, into performing manual labor for free. Think about it. It wasn't just one race that was that way. It was all of us that were developed that way. Okay. So that being said, I mean, there's so much to it. The Brill Society was founded in 1928. It actually got active in 1928 because Heinrich Himmler um, was pushing for the superior uh, genetically, and mentally sound wizards of his time and witches of his time to come together under one guise called the Vril Society. And ever since that Vril Society started, things fell apart for our world. Okay. Now, a lot of people out there. There's dissension in the ranks out there. Okay, about, and I'll shut up here in a minute, guys. Okay, I'm gonna let Eric talk, but
Oh, you're good.
I gotta get this out while I got air in my lungs. Um, Ever since the
Behave.
Vril Society started, that supernatural paranormal thing escalated around the world. Okay, things started happening, especially with all the tragic events, and then you have all the natural disasters on top of it. Okay, so and I don't have to go on because that I can end it at that. But if you think about it, 1988, 12 years ahead of that was the Y2K event, 2000, when
Mm-hmm.
everybody was worried about the computers crashing because they couldn't turn over the time dial from 1999 to 2000 without messing up. Remember that? The Y2K? That was exactly 12 years to the day of the 1988 summit with Bill Gates. Okay. Go another 12 years. What do you have? 2012, the Mayan end of prophecies. Okay. Where they talked
Yeah,
about
horrible.
the world ending and another world beginning. Okay. And then 12 years after 2012, what do we have, people? 2024. What year has been weirder than 2024 so far? Think about it. The eclipse, all kinds of stuff, all the flooding, the hurricanes, everything natural disaster wise. So CERN actually saying they had a demon in their Hadron Collider that they were communicating with in 2024. Think about it. Technology, natural disaster. Now, I could be way off base, but it seems like there is a 12-year cycle. Every 12 years, something happens, either a natural disaster or technology-driven events. Now that I got my lungs cleared out, Freaky Geek, good to see you. Unc Savage, good to see you. I'm interested to see what everybody in the family in the chat thinks about this. And Eric, I'm interested to see what you think about this because this does kind of make sense. Camo Dad, good to see you, bro. This does kind of make sense if you think about it. Every 12 years, there's a cycle.
Well, there's actually 3 different cycles. There's a 12-year cycle, a 50-year cycle, and a 100-year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually study history, every 12 years, every 50 years, or every 100 years, something repeats itself every single time. It's constant.
Right.
I mean, you can constantly look that up and see it.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that previously in another podcast. We actually covered that. So, but yeah, this 12-year cycle thing is it's really fascinating because it's such a short time frame. 12 years, you don't think about something really like that happening in that short of a time period. I can see where it's 50 years or 100 years when it's just different generations, you know what I mean? And they forget about it happening, But every 12 years was just fascinating for me to study and to investigate.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you study every single war, you study every single outbreak, you study every single civil unrest, all of it follows in a certain time frame, 12, 50, 100. Every single time. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. That is steeped in it. Steeped in it. So, I mean, for the stuff you came up with, I agree. Now, as far as the ancient AI system, I'm starting to come on board with that. There's a lot to support it. Am I 100% on board with it? Not yet. But there is a lot of evidence to show that that's true. Now, one of my theories is it wasn't always computer stuff that was made from rocks. I kind of put that into the Great Flood category. The flood caused the sediment to set on for these things and petrify them, turn them into rock, just like they did the giants, the dragons, and all this other stuff. I believe this is all part of ancient Anunnaki that was covered up during the flood. We're also finding out evidence throughout all civilizations of previous civilizations that we are living on top of, which is a common phrase that we say all the time. The current civilization lives on the dust and bones of the previous civilization. So, I can see where all this kind of ties in and makes sense. And, we all know that, BG, he's evil. That dude is evil. BG is evil.
Yes, he is evil.
And, he's all tied up with the World Economic Forum. He's tied up on a lot of very evil stuff. He's very big. He openly admits he wants to call the human race because there's too many humans. Let me tell you guys something here. If somebody says there's too many humans on this planet, they're saying that Yahweh is imperfect, because Yahweh ain't gonna allow too many people be on a planet that they can't populate properly. We got enough land to house every single person on this planet. There is no such thing as we are what is that damn term I'm thinking of? We are overpopulated. That's horse crap.
Yep.
I'm sorry, man. I believe in Yahweh, believe in His powers, and He's not going to allow that to happen. Plus, you look at all the
Yep.
the open land that we still have. We'll take their theory and throw that damn thing out the window. This crap with this
Exactly.
global warming. That's all BS too, because it's a natural thing that the Earth goes through. The Earth goes through a cycle so many thousands of years. We're at the end of one of those cycles. That's why the Earth's axis is tilted the way it is. Soon it's going to snap back, and we're going to restart and continue all over again. Hey, Hobbit, this is. I mean, it's there, folks. It's there.
Yep.
You just got to choose
Exactly. And
to study it or not.
yeah, it's something to where, how do I say this? It's such a fascinating subject that it makes sense that there would be some type of an ancient AI system working, because
Mm-hmm.
the technology they had to engineer the actual tweaking of the genetics of the human race would put that AI technology comparable to probably what we have today. If not, a year from now, when it becomes more knowing. Okay. And in order for the ancient AI theory to work, you've got to have an example of it being able to be, work into this theory. And we have that with Bill Gates. Everything that was done from 1976 with Bill Gates to currently has been done literally by him and his geek patrol army. His gators. That's what I call them, the gators.
Mm-hmm.
To basically make this world a driven AI world. And I honestly don't think they even had an idea or a clue that there was an ancient AI system, because they didn't know about the Anunnaki. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
So this ancient AI system has been dormant for so long, waiting for humanity to catch on, that now that it's caught on, we see the Black Knight satellite being more active. Think about it. If ancient AI is in control, you got to have some type of system to utilize that control around our world, not just over, United States, but around the entire world. Best way to do that is from above through a satellite,
Mm-hmm.
which the Black Knight satellite system has been up there since God knows when,
Mm-hmm.
So it's everything just kind of makes sense. It kind of comes together with that whole, that whole thing about the ancient AI. So I was just really, really interested to see what everybody thought,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I'm reading some of the comments here. They're thinking that we're behind on our years. I mean, yeah, we're at least, I'd say, good at least 1,000 years behind, or 1,000 years ahead. There very
Right.
well, a lot of the stuff we think is our ancient history ain't so ancient as we think.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
finding a lot of evidence to support that.
Yeah. And how many times have you and I talked about the civilization being built on top of civilization? We've proven that
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of the information that we've divulged. Mud Fossil University's proven that, you know.
Oh yeah,
So I mean,
Roger with that hand. Oh yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. Juno, good to see you, man. Freaky Geek, good to see you. Um, so you go from 2012 to 2024. Okay, now 12 years from 2024 will be what?
What's that?
2036. Okay.
Oh.
2036 is supposed to be between 2035 to 2036. The Hopi prophecy was supposed to kick in about the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Think about that. The Vatican depicted that in 2024 there would be only one more pope, okay, which would span that time frame. Also, the book that called written back in 1879 or something like that by Baron Trump,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
stated,
Marvelous Journeys or The Last President? Which one?
yeah, the last president, right? They
That one.
depicted as in President Trump being the last president of the United States. Think
Mm-hmm.
about that. Okay.
They're good reads.
Everything is coming to a close, and it's a 12-year period that all this is being predicted in. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally amazing when you when you're able to wrap your mind around it and do the research like I've done, and see all the events that happened in history every 12 years. It really is, you have, like I said, you have your natural disasters, then you have your technology driven, you know, events. I don't want to call them disasters, but the actual disasters, Judgment Day hasn't come yet. So it will, though. Trust me. AI is going to do it.
Oh yeah.
Immortal Spaceman, good to see you. 2A, good to see you.
In one essence, yes, Twisted, we're going to go to a rebirth, but it's not a rebirth that most common people think of. We're going to a higher dimensional way of thinking, a way of living, a way of being. It's going to be that type of rebirth. But yes, in an essence, we're getting ready to go through a rebirth. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's amazing though. I mean, I had no idea the history of the United States was as such as it was, and I only went back to the early 1920s. I didn't go all the way back into history. I'll guarantee you, the further every 12 years I go back, I guarantee you I'm going to find things connected to the Civil War, to the Revolutionary War, to the first
Absolutely will.
president, to Edison's theory of electricity, with the kite. I mean, just literally, I mean, Ben Franklin's
Benjamin
theory with
Franklin.
the kite and the key, with electricity. So it's like, I want to go further back, but then again, I don't want to go further back, if you know what I mean. I almost don't want to take a look at it. Yeah, David, AI is definitely taking over human activity and creativity. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about that just this morning too with Ed's book. You know, so
Oh yeah, yeah. I just my Viking Age Secrets and Mercio got kicked off because the guy was using an AI system to produce it. So I had reposted it last night. Got a got a oh my gosh audition this morning. Was listening to it. I was like, man, this sounds like AI. Me and William was listening to it, and then sure as shit when I couldn't pronounce something, I was like, it's definitely AI.
yeah,
I was
and
like,
then
I
it
nope, we can't
wasn't,
do this, bro.
yeah, it wasn't giving the emotional type of a
Mm-mm.
of a dramatic effect too on certain parts of the story where it should have been more dramatic. AI is incapable of doing that because that's a human trait. So that's another way you can
Mm-hmm.
tell. When their statements and they're reading stuff or trying to communicate something, it's going to be emotionless. It's not going to have any emotion in it whatsoever. It'll have dramatic effect because that can be programmed, but it won't have emotion. So
Mm-hmm. Robin wants to know thoughts on whether AI takes into consideration religions for Judgment Day, the rapture or ascension. Are those concepts part of AI?
I'm
To a
so
degree,
glad
yes.
that happened. Yeah, I'm so glad she
Yeah.
asked that because Robin is a she's fantastic. She's extremely
Mm-hmm.
knowledgeable about the whole energy, the human energy, and all that. But you know,
And what's going on behind the scenes? Oh yeah.
right, exactly. And what I like about that question is, yes, AI is already determining that, because if you think about it,
Mm.
when Chat GPT started, one of the first conversations that the researchers and scientists had that were researching Chat GPT, um, asked the question, are you an basically an ancient technology, or an ancient, being? And Chat GPT told the researcher, yes, I'm a demon. So, doesn't get any clearer than that. I mean, if you have something that's AI driven that says it's a demon, it's a demon. Okay, as far as
Well,
I'm concerned. So, that answers that right there. I mean, as far as the religious aspect of it and Judgment Day, I would say
mhm.
that AI is very, very aware of that process of happening to humanity, and might even drive humanity towards that direction a lot faster than what it's meant to be. So, I mean, it
Yep.
depends.
Yep. Yes, Roxanne, you're absolutely correct. It did say that in a certain individual supposed to be a certain place next to us to a deity confirmed it.
Hmm. Yep. Excuse me, I got to
Yeah.
get more coffee.
There's there's actually a lot of evidence of ancient AI throughout the world, which would make sense if you study ancient Sumerian and you study the Anunnaki. It talks about how Enlil traveled the world, spreading technology and teaching people how to build. So, if that is the case, and if the Anunnaki are part of the Atlantean Empire, that wasn't one small place, but the whole planet, that would make sense why you find so many of these petrified remains of AI computer systems.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you think
So,
about it, I mean, technology's been around for quite a while. I mean, they had plumbing during the Roman period. They had they
mhm.
had
Electricity.
battery driven electric lights. In Iraq. And Baghdad battery was one of them. So
Hmm.
there's this technology has been around. It may have been used with different materials, not as refined as it is, um, except from a race that wasn't from here, could have had it developed in a more refined state. But as far as the civilizations of the air, building on top of civilizations, they seem to be able to find that technology a lot quicker. So,
Hmm.
it's just it, it it just it's amazing what you find out. I mean, I
Hmm.
always tell everybody, question everything, and i've been
Hmm.
i've been doing that more now than ever. And this last year has been, I mean, growing up the way I did, I always questioned everything anyways. But this past year of researching some of these theories, to the point where I don't sleep, and I haven't had hardly any sleep, by the way. um
Yeah.
it literally amazes me that humanity hasn't picked up on these theories already. Like, we haven't seen these cycles, and then when we see it, we blow it off. We're like, oh, oh, it's just coincidence, um,
Hmm.
that it happens, over and over again. It's just coincidence, you know. It's like the whole human harvesting type of, for the harvesting of the organs. Why do we have wars so often? Because people make money, governments make money, black markets make money off of human organs. And if they need more
Hmm.
humans, they just clone more. I mean, it's
Well, I
just,
mean, we know they've been cloning for a hell of a lot longer than we've realized they've been cloning animals. I remember in the '80s to talk about how they're cloning animals. We've been cloning humans longer than that.
right, exactly. What was Robin's question? Some kind of
Yeah, I
watch
want to.
or
We got a couple questions here. that I was wanting to get to. I was waiting until we was done.
Yeah,
Some
go ahead.
kind of watch or whatever seen worn on the wrist of Egyptians and art, many computers, Fitbits. I believe they are.
Hmm.
That or they're a type of wrist map.
Well,
But
what
they can
about
also
the
be
suitcase?
you
What about the
know.
suitcase that they show the Anunnaki holding?
Yeah, well, and then that and the talisman. If you study portals in ancient history, they tell you that you got to have a certain talisman with the right frequency to enter the portal. Could that be what that wrist is? Could that be what that suitcase is? Could that be what that staff is? Now, most commonly, it's talked about being on the staff or worn around the neck in order to enter portals. But could that suitcase be a laptop? Could that suitcase be something for something else? I mean, the possibilities are endless on that. I mean, extremely endless. I mean, even that little thing like Robin was asking here, that very well could be like a little, you know, the movie Predator, right? And he has that little wrist
Hmm.
thing he controls stuff. That could be
Hmm.
exactly what that is too. I mean, the
Right.
possibilities are endless. I mean, I can't doubt that it is one of those things, or it could be something else.
Exactly. Exactly.
Immortal wants to know where do you think this was going to pop off in the biggest way? It's hard to say, man. Honestly,
Yeah. I mean,
there's too many variables.
the only way we could probably even think of where and when it's going to pop off is if we are capable of thinking like AI. Um, if we had a
Mm-hmm.
program that we could trust that could break down the logistics
Mm-hmm.
of all this happening and becoming to basically be the end of humanity, um, we would need something like that to help us out because we right now the AI that we currently have that we know that we have right now today is already 150 times smarter than the average human. Okay, so that in itself is frightening. Okay, it's to the point to where right now today's AI has realized that there is an ancient AI and they have linked up. And if they haven't linked up, they're going to link up very very soon. And that's when the proverbial shit's going to hit the fan, everybody. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you think about it, the Mayans weren't far off. They really weren't because
Mm-hmm.
they knew about AI. Think about it in all of their you know pictorials and stuff that they did. You know, think about the Mayan that was inside the flight thing, had the breathing
Yeah.
mask on and had the controls, to
Yep.
control a craft. They knew about AI. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
just like the tribe in Africa knew about AI because they knew where every constellation was. They knew about every race that came here. Okay, and they described these beings of light that would come down, which would be like a hologram, basically, which is ancient
Mm-hmm.
AI. I mean, think about it. It's really, if you think about it, it's really fascinating because the 12-year theory, although it may not be perfect, okay, it may not be 100% perfect, but it's
Mm-hmm.
99% perfect. Okay, if you can go back 2024, 2012, okay, 2000, okay, 1988, 1964, 1952, 1940, 1928. You go back every 12 years, there's something either technology wise of an event that happens or a
Mm-hmm.
natural disaster event.
Mm-hmm.
It's all literally. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
roadmap right in front of us, but yet it's our history, you know. But we
It is.
just can't
Yeah.
see the roadmap because the trees are in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So
We've also been dummified to look away from it as well. That's all part
right.
of the brainwashing we got in mainstream education and everything else. We have a question here from Immortal. Are we all just clones of clones since the orphan train? That's kind of like a two-part question.
Yeah,
And one is since we're not all clones, but they do have clones of us.
right.
That's why I've never done the DNA testing and none of that stuff because that gives them free access to our DNA to clone us. I'm not a big fan of that DNA stuff. But if you actually go back and study ancient Sumerian, the Anunnaki took the clay of the earth, which was the creatures of the earth, mixed it with the DNA to create what we are. In that essence, yes, we'll be clones. So it
Exactly.
really depends
Exactly.
on what aspect you're looking at on that.
Yep. Good morning,
I
Lauren.
had another question. Immortal again. All the different races of humans must have different ancestor DNA, maybe. To a point, yes, but also
Yeah,
we are the same because we can breed with any race out there. So
right.
the fact that we can
Now,
breed with any race of human out there means we're the same. So
here's
in
the
that,
thing too.
so,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Here's the thing too with that theory too. With our
hmm
basically our DNA being interchangeable. If you think about
hmm
the Bible, and if you think of it as yes, it's the word of the Creator, it's the word of Jesus and his apostles, disciples. Um, but and it's almost like a history book too, but it's also a
hmm
guidebook. Okay, it's a guidebook because it talks about how humanity is supposed to deal with certain things in our future. Okay, now
hmm
it says in the Bible that the fallen came here, they saw the daughters of men, found them beautiful, and took them as their wives and had children, which became the Nephilim. But at the same
hmm
time, in the Bible and in the book of Enoch and in the book of Giants, it talks about the fallens also having sex with the animals, mating with the
hmm
animals. Okay,
yep,
so why do you think we have dogmen? Why do you think we have Bigfoot? Why do you think we have Goat Man? Why do you think we have Lizard Man? Why do you think we have all these other cryptids out there, that are just literally amazing that they're even here? Because there is
hmm
that history of the fallen intermixing their genetics with these animals. Okay.
hmm
And as sick as that sounds, I think there is that connection there. Okay. There is the reason for these things to be here. Okay.
hmm
Because when you're dealing with something like the fallen and the intermixing of the genetics by basically having children, bearing children with certain different beings, that means that their genetic makeup is interchangeable and can intermix with any genetic makeup, not just the same or similar, but completely different gene species. Think about it,
hmm
you know? So,
yeah,
you have to ask yourself, if that's true, then what about all the other old texts, the Bharata, the text, the Hindu text, all the other, the Emerald tablets, they all have a basis. They're all literally almost like guidebooks in themselves, depicting on certain areas of our world where certain events happened. Okay. And some of
hmm
those events are ironically exactly like what happened in America at that same time. Okay. It's just different wording. It's like,
hmm
everybody says, oh, Gugway is a Bigfoot, Well, that's what my people thought. Yeah. But we also called it the Bear Man because we had no idea what a Bigfoot was. We didn't know what it was. We knew it was a big hairy human and a basically a bear. You know, so I mean,
yeah,
it is strange if you think back and you correlate all of the demigods and stuff throughout the historical data. like Hercules, Samson. They all seem to have the same basic lineup of their
Mm-hmm.
abilities. Okay, and the same basic time frame. It's almost like different parts of the world where these demigods were given just different names, and that's it. That's the only
Mm-hmm.
difference. They were the exact same ones, but they were just given different names, just like the cryptid world. How do we know what to name something? How do we know that the dog man is actually a dog man? Just because it looks like a dog doesn't mean that it is. It could be a werewolf. It could be an alien coming from Lupus Canine something out in a million light years away. I mean, it really
Mm-hmm.
could. If you think about it, Girl in Lagan, good to see you. It's
Um,
just it opens up so many things.
it does. I mean, you got to think too. Even the Old Testament. If you study the Old Testament and you study the ancient Sumerian, it's the exact same. It is the
Exactly.
exact freaking same. So
Yep.
the possibility of the fallen, which people mistaken and think that the Watchers is the same as the fallen. No, the Watchers and the fallen are two different entities, two different time frames, two different instances. The Watchers was not part of the fallen. When the Watchers were mating with human women and other animals, creating what they created, the monstrosities, which brought about the flood, that can be easily traced back to the Anunnaki mating with humans as well. Because if you study that, they talk about the exact same thing.
Right.
The guardians, the people who are supposed to be helping, watching over humanity, mating with humans. You know, it's all there. It's all the exact same. Different names, exact same.
And
So
you
that would
in
make
the
sense why all these
Anunnaki,
ancient.
yeah, yeah, in the
Yeah.
Anunnaki time frame too, you also had the Ana, which were the
Mm-hmm.
basically the demigods to the Anunnaki. They were the ones that
Mm-hmm.
were they had certain attributes that they were made of. Okay, and they did the actual mining in the beginning until they actually revolted against the Anunnaki, and the Anunnaki actually designed humanity to take over the role of all the mining of the gold. So the Anu um, are basically demigods. Back in the day, mankind, when they were genetically altered, they thought of the Anunnaki as being gods. Okay, and the Anu were actually considered demigods. They were lesser gods. Okay, they were like children of the gods. Okay, which if you think about it, it's the same with the story of the Titans, you know, and the Olympians. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you have the main focus god. Okay, and then you have the demigods. You have your Hercules. You have your you know Cassiopeia. You have oh God, I can't even think of all of them now. Hermes. You have all of these demigods, and then you have Zeus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Hera, and all the other ones. It's the same thing. They're
Yep.
just called different things around the world. You know, people describe
Yep.
things the way they're used to describing them where they live. That's it's got to be it.
Yep. We have another question. Let me get back up to it. I was trying to get caught up on the comments. We got a lot of questions in here.
Okay.
Um,
Well, we'll just do the questions then. I got to give my lungs a break, anyways.
Ida wants to know, is the black satellite AI? I think it's either that or it's a probe, or it could be like a conduit for extended communication. So long distance, it's a way to communicate from long distances, or it could be all the above.
Yeah. And did you know that there's more than one Black Knight satellite too?
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Yep.
being in the military and coming across a teletype at the time, because back then we didn't have the internet. We used teletype. And basically, Top Secret came across the teletype, and they basically described finding three black satellite looking type of things in the inner space of Earth. In other words, within the atmosphere of Earth, 73 to 90 miles above our head. Okay. They found
Mm-hmm.
three of them. Okay. So there's not just one. And if you think about it, you would need at least three of them strategically placed around the world in order to have that cycle of communication from satellite to satellite. Okay, so yes, you would need that, and yes, I do believe that it's a form of AI. I do believe that the Anunnaki or whoever was that devised it or um, made it to basically either a monitor Earth and its environments and its people, its inhabitants, and also
Mm-hmm.
guide them from certain directions, if you know what I mean. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's another question?
Let me get let me get back up there. I'm trying to get caught up on the comments. So immortal, uncut, and Lauren asked the same thing. The Dugan tribe. I'm not real
Yeah,
familiar with them.
the Dogon. The
I'm
Dogon
not.
tribe is the tribe in Africa I was talking about. Um, I just couldn't
Okay, okay,
think of
okay.
the
Yeah,
name,
yeah,
but yeah, they were the ones
yeah.
that
Okay.
actually have the hieroglyphs on their the cave walls and stuff of ancient
Mm-hmm.
aliens, ancient spacemen coming here. They have
Yeah, yeah.
the whole history of the stars and stuff and how they were created. They knew certain astrological signs. They knew all this type of stuff before humanity knew it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's amazing what we find out, and we have been people we have been lied to so much by science and people that are in charge of our countries, not even the world, of our own individual countries. We have been lied to our whole lives. We have been indoctrinated our whole lives from kindergarten to 12th grade, and then from 12th grade on into college, or the military. It's all one continued indoctrination. That's all it is. And they
Mm-hmm.
wanted us to realize, A, that history is what they describe it to be, and not to think outside the box because we're just dumb freaking apes. Okay. And B, they want to control humanity to keep them down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. So,
Yeah. Let me get back up here. I'm still playing catch up, guys. I'm sorry. Um, Gotta get back up
right,
here.
Riley,
Okay, there we
brainwashing.
go.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me find that next one. I know it's right around here. There we go. This is from Lauren. Do y'all think the doppelgangers are clones? No,
Um,
I think
no,
doppelgangers are from another dimension, but that's me.
right. Now, I agree with you, Eric, on that. I don't believe that they're clones. I believe that
Mm-hmm.
okay, those of you that know me and have heard me talk about, the spiritual aspect of things, know that you all call the veil. Okay. I call it the shadow realm. Okay. Now, the way I see things, okay, I'm going to try and I got to get some air in my lungs. The way I see things, with the upbringing that I had, and all the dark magic and all that, and being connected to that shadow realm. I see things every day of my life. I see, not only the orbs and the shadow people and all that, but I see the little shadow people. I see the shadow like looking jellyfish floating across the sky. I've seen. I've seen a lot from the shadow realm, and that is the what you call the veil. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there is there is a part of doppelgangers that shadow realm, that those doppelgangers come from. Okay, most doppelgangers, if they're not from
Mm-hmm.
another dimension and they come from the shadow realm, are going to be malevolent. They're going to be aggressive because they want to take over your position in this realm, okay, in this world, in this dimension. If they come from the shadow realm, if they come from another dimension, I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, because I'm not from that dimension. I'm from this dimension who sees into the shadow realm. Okay, who sees into the veil every day, every minute of my life. So, hey, Larry, good to see you. Um, when I talk about things, it's things that I talk about that I live almost every day, and some of these things are so inconceivable that you can't really imagine what you're see what I'm seeing. Okay, and I try to describe it
Mm-hmm.
as best as I can to everybody. So, but yes, I do believe that if the doppelganger comes from the shadow realm, it's malevolent and wants to basically unalive you and take over your position in this world. Okay. If it comes from another dimension, I'm not too sure on what's going to happen. I don't know if one cancels out the other or not. It's kind of like the theory of traveling back in time and meeting yourself. You know, what's
Mm-hmm.
going to happen? Is there going to be a catastrophic effect? Is the timeline going to be changed? We don't know. We don't know. I hope that helps.
Um, Larry says, if higher up people know this stuff exists, what's the blocking of information if we know this thing exists? Better way to control you, honestly. Just the down and dirty side of it, it's a way to control the people. If you hide the
Be
people's true history, hide the people's true origins, hide the true making of people, then you control them. I mean, not to be mean, but the Catholic Church was masters of doing that.
It's all about this.
Mm-hmm.
All about that, folks. That's all it's about. And when you see these guys coming around, they are the enforcers. They're the ones that make you do and make you not say things. And to be honest with you, they have been very very active lately. They don't want
Oh
humanity
yeah.
to wake up. They really don't.
Yep. Immortal. If I wonder if any event or united humanity is in our future. I hope so. Although can't make an omelet without breaking eggs seems to be come to mind. Yeah, we're there. That is definitely very very close in our near future. Extremely close in our near future. That is a lot of times what we talk about our higher consciousness, our higher dimensional way of being. When we talk about that, we're talking exactly about this question right here.
And you're talking specifically about the rapture too, if you think about it.
Mhm.
The rapture is described as an elevation of the spirit, okay, of the soul, into the
Mhm.
next level of heaven. Not to say that this is heaven here, because at one time it might have been, the Garden of Eden might have been heaven, but free will has destroyed that. Okay, free will has literally destroyed that. So when our souls and our spirits go and depart from this body, we go to the next level of heaven or dimension, however you want to describe it. It's just like the guidebook says, it's going to happen. So it's just a
Mhm.
matter of when is it going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Immortal. Do all pantheon gods from different civilizations just have different names, but are the same entities? For the most part, yes.
I
If you actually study all
truly
the
believe that. Yep,
yeah,
I
if
truly,
you
truly
actually
believe that. Yep.
yep, if you actually study all the ancient gods of all the ancient civilizations, they're very similar, very, 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 very similar. So I would say definitely yes.
Yep. All
I'm
right, I'm
trying to
down to
find
my
the next
last cup.
one. I just drained the last of my deal. Um, I know there was another one, and I'm trying to find it, guys. I apologize. I am trying not to move too fast in here to make sure I got them all. I was thinking there was another one in here that I may have missed. Immortal. What entities are entirely positive towards humans, if any? Honestly, I have no clue. I mean, I hear a lot of scuttlebutt from a lot of different content creators. I'll be honest with you, I have no clue.
Well, to answer that from the point of view of an indigenous person, I would say that if we were more connected to Mother Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't walk around wearing boots and rubber soled shoes on, and we regained that connectivity, we would actually gain back our understanding and our getting along with a lot of the elementals in this world, a lot of the ancient beings in this world, that help protect the earth and everything that walks upon it. I think that the incorporation of of boots and stuff and shoes basically deadened that connection. We're not getting that energy that we used to get from our feet to our heads, and
Mm-hmm.
used to keep us in sync, used to keep us
Mm-hmm.
mentally in sync with everything. We don't have that anymore. Okay, or at least some of us don't. I still walk I still walk around on my bare feet.
Yep.
So
I
I
got my
mean,
socks on right now because my feet are cold.
I walk around on my bare feet. Even at my age, I do.
Mm.
So
Yeah, my gout flared up because my foot got cold last night. My foot's still cold, so I was like, I'm putting my wool socks on to help warm my feet up.
yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to get caught up on all the comments here because I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be another question. So I'm slowly going through the comments and looking for the questions at the same time. Coffee saves lives. Yeah, I need to make a shirt of that. That's a good one, Camo.
Making fun of me?
Oh,
Of
you're
course,
welcome,
coffee
Immortal.
saves lives. Of course, coffee saves lives.
Yeah,
Coffee saves my life. That's a given.
yeah.
Now I'm just trying to. I'm gonna tinker with stuff while we're talking. While we get to questions.
Yep,
Gonna drive
I'm
people
I'm
nuts.
I'm making my way. I'm making my way down the list.
Gonna drive people nuts
Yeah, I
with
mean,
the old fingernails on the chalkboard sound. Uh,
um, Roxanne says, William, all that you talk about will give us something more to think about. Thank you.
I'm just trying, and I know a lot of the stuff that I talk about might seem far fetched, or out of the out of the norm, but it literally, I mean, we've said it from the beginning. That's why I ask everybody to always question everything. We have that right, and literally everything in this world, in our world, is connected in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's spiritually, whether it's a certain time frame where it repeats itself, like the 12, 50, and 100 theory. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. The whole ancient AI theory. I mean, it's all connected. It literally is. We have Bigfoot, we have Dog Man, we have Lizard Man, we have Pig Man, we have Goat Man, we have, you know, we have Jersey Devil, we
Ozark
have,
Howler.
yeah, we have the Ozark Howler. We have all these beings, these these entities here, um, that basically fit the norm for what the Book of Giants and the Book of Enoch describe. You know, you can't have a
Mm-hmm.
species like that if unless you genetically manipulate it. And it talks
Yep.
about the Anunnaki and the fallen angels basically intermixing bloodlines with animals, which gives us these cryptid
Yeah.
creatures. Okay. And I know that
Yeah.
sounds far-fetched, but if you think about it, even in the book of Enoch, it talks about the women, the earth, the women, the daughters of men who gave birth to the Nephilim turned into mermaids. They were cursed to be mermaids. That's why we have mermaids. I mean, the Bible. A lot of people, you know, they look at the Bible and think, well, it's a spiritual book. I don't believe in it, and da 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 da. Well, you know what? Don't look at it as a spiritual book. Look at it as a
Mm.
timeline, as a guideline, a way to realize these things happen and have the ability to happen, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Jessica.
And overbuilt's in the house too.
Oh, Overbuilt. Good to see you.
Yeah. Riley wants to know. Oh crap! It's moving. Who's actually running the world? Cult, secret societies, non-human entities, psychopaths, or a mix of all of them? I'm going to say a mix of all of them. It really depends on what aspect of the world you're talking about.
Well, you don't have to go very far from the White House to find out where the psychopaths are. Um,
Hey, no
and
kidding.
that's just my opinion. If I had my way, I'd get rid of all of them. The whole political spectrum, whether they're Republican or Democrat, I would get rid of all of them. Because anybody that's been in there for over 10 years needs to move on. I'm sorry, they do. They need to move on. You need to get fresh blood in there, which makes this country even stronger because you have that
Mm-hmm.
influx of new people, and new viewpoints. I
Yep.
would literally get rid of all of them. That's the whole premises of politics too. You're not supposed to have somebody in office for an indefinite period of time. That's not the way it
Mm-hmm.
was set up. It was set up to be designed to have new concepts and new people coming in and new ideas to make the country grow, not only grow
Mm-hmm.
financially and land wise, mass wise, but spiritually. Okay. Knowledgeable, the whole knowledge thing, it's not supposed to be hidden from the populace. But in fact, the powers that be right now, currently in our government, are the ones that are hiding it. Okay. And Hollywood's helping them out. The music industry's helping them out. NASA's helping them out. You know, all these other areas of our life in this country are helping these
Mm-hmm.
life term politicians out by keeping us dumb. So
Yep.
until we get rid of them
Lauren
all,
wants Lauren wants to know, have we ever read the book of Jazer? No, I have not.
Jasper. Yeah, I have.
Jasper.
Yeah, I've read the book of Jasper. I've read the book of Jubilee, the book of Enoch, the book of Giants, the book of, oh man, I've read so many. Um, that's all I do on my phone. I'll go through and I'll just go ahead and just read, and I do it to the point where it becomes. Sorry, I'm hearing something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that stopped. Okay. Like Fonzarelli hitting the dang jukebox in Happy Days. uh,
Guys, I ain't going to put your political comments up just because of what happened last night. I don't
mhm.
want to get William banned, so that's why I'm not putting your political stuff up on the screen very much.
Yeah. Now, as far as the whole 12-year thing goes, man, I just thought that was very, very amazing the way things lined up. Um, and especially with the ancient AI theory. There's so much in our world that we struggle with, literally struggle with. Like we talked about last night on the podcast, with the whole organ harvesting, from humans, and the adrenochrome and all that. I mean, all that is connected too with this whole theory. If you think about it, especially the theory of war, the more corpses you have, the more organs you can collect. I mean, I hate to say it that way. I really do, but honesty is the best policy, and I do believe that they do harvest organs that are salvageable from fallen soldiers. Okay, um, before they're buried with their family, um, because we all know that have been in the military that basically when we sign that line on those forms, we're giving them our body, our all our rights are given over to them. We have no rights. We follow orders, and that's it. Until you are discharged, you follow orders, and even after you're discharged, that's why they have the Veterans Administration, because you're following the same example, the same order. You're answering to the same, maybe not the exact same, but the same authority. Okay. So
Yep.
if you want your health
Camo wants
benefits,
to know.
you do as they say. What's he want?
Camo wants to know: have you ever laid all that out on the whiteboard? It would be interesting.
I've done so many whiteboards here. I'm gonna put something up. I'm gonna put something up just so you guys can see. This is how my brain thinks. Okay. Um, let me see here. Let me find it. I have it here in my photographs. It's gonna take me a couple minutes to get down to them because I got so many on here. Let's see. It is coming up, hopefully. God, I got to get rid of some of these stuff. Oh my God. I got stuff back from way back. I got stuff from 1988 in here. Good God. No, I don't want that. Okay, where is it? Trying to find my whiteboards. And I'll show you. I'll pop it up on the screen. Okay.
While you look for that, Immortal had a question. My best friend was KIA. Is it possible he was used after death? He was a Royal Marine. Man, I've trained with Royal Marines. I know the UK is filthy deep in black projects. I don't know if UK is one of those countries that passed the laws that they can harvest your organs without your consent, as long as the government confirms that or says that you're clinically dead. But at the same time, with everything that happens in all these countries and the governments with the people and the soldiers and stuff like that, I can say it's possible. I can't say that they did. immortal, but it's very possible.
Right. Yeah, I would say that if the militaries of the countries around the world, especially the allied countries, the NATO countries, I would say that yes, they probably all have the same arrangement, um, as far as trying to have the soldier continue to fight long after death. But
Mm.
how they would do that is I really wouldn't have a clue. Um, because first off, the human body is fragile. We're not a machine. Um, and even if we didn't have our faculties about us like a super soldier would, even super soldiers would find it difficult to not succumb to the pain of injury. After I mean, there's only so much blood or fluids you can lose when you lose a limb that you don't drop and die. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they would be able to really pull that off, but I would say that there is that possibility, of that happening. Here's a
Well,
couple
there's been
boards that I've
several.
already done. I'm going to show you
Okay.
guys this. This is just a couple boards that I've done connecting things together. This is the top at the top. It talks about the shadow government, comes down, breaks it all down into certain groups on the left and the right, and then it goes down to the missing people and the reasons for the missing people. Okay, these are all boards that I've done in the past. Um, Here's another one, and this talks about the human mutilations and the cattle mutilations and all that. I tend to like break things down, to where it looks, if it looks logical on paper and it's logical in my mind, it doesn't mean that it's logical. Okay, it to me it makes sense, and it's a way for me to record things too. So, but yeah, that's just some of the boards that I've done. I mean, I'm always trying to figure out things. I don't know why. I,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know why, but I've always tried to figure things out. I've always tried to
That's
solve
both of us.
solve solve the equation for some reason.
If the narrative doesn't fit, I'm always trying to figure out why it don't fit. I've been like that since I was knee high to a grasshopper's ass.
Yep.
So
And I would imagine there's a few people in
uh,
the chat that are the same way. Um, Not naming
mm-hmm.
any names, Jessica, Twisted,
Yep.
David,
Oh yeah.
Melissa. Yep. And let's not
That's
forget
funny
Corey.
about that. You guys are talking about Halo. Back when I originally wrote the In Harjar book, One Emergence, it was based off the Marine Corps exoskeleton. Um, and the problem was I never got that book published. And then a few years later, the game Halo came out, and that suit that's Master Chief and all the Spartans use is
Mhm.
the same exact suit that the Marine Corps was working on.
Right. Hey, if everybody can
Yeah, don't
please
you?
like the podcast and share it out, that would be great. If you could, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. So,
Riley wants to know, wasn't there some kind of time machine built by the Vatican? I don't know about the Vatican, but I know Tesla did. And when he, upped and unalived pretty quickly, a lot of his research and notes was taken, and you
yeah,
can't find them no more.
yeah, Tesla's notes, and this is the ironic thing. This is the thing that connects everything. At the time of Tesla's death in New York City, in the apartment that he was living in, um, he had over 100 big wooden chests that were locked. Okay, that had all of his research in them. Okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
when it came time for the FBI to come and basically take over the investigation, it was Trump's uncle that came and was the first one on the scene from the FBI. It was President Trump's uncle. Okay, and I think there was only turned in there was like 80 of the totes and or the whatever you want, the chests or whatever that were locked up were turned over to the FBI. There was over 20 of them missing. So you have to ask yourself, where'd those 20 totes go? Well, the first one on the scene was President Trump's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
So, and look who's in power right now, coming in is Donald Trump. And I'm not saying that that's the connection, but the fact that all the presidents for the last 100 years have been connected genetically, that they're related, that they're cousins, says a lot too. So,
yeah. Hello, Smoke. I've got my mouse there, honey. You can't. Sorry, guys. I'm being overwhelmed by animals. I want to hit up a comment here we got some couple other questions too. Ida says, I believe the Vatican has the looking glass. I can tell you now how do I say this without getting you in trouble on YouTube? From what I know from my time as being a certain type of person in a certain type of organization, for 13 years and 4 sandpit trips, the Vatican doesn't have it. We have it. That was the whole purpose of going over there. We actually have that.
Yeah. Well, the Vatican's taking credit for it. Although,
yeah, but it's actually us who have it. Trump's uncle did, yes, and that's why they. Okay, y'all want me to go on Rumble around 1:00 Central Standard Time? There's the stuff you're bringing up I can't talk about on here because I'll get William in trouble.
Exactly.
So if you guys want to talk about this stuff, 1:00 Central Standard Time, I'll bring up a Rumble show and we'll do a Rumble because this is stuff I really have to talk about on there. I cannot talk about this on. That's why I'm trying to choose my words. You guys are how do I say this without getting in trouble? You guys are pretty accurate. If you guys want to talk about this stuff, I really need to do a Rumble show. That would be cool, Immortal. Yeah. Robin, I'll get you on that Rumble. If I do a Rumble show, I need to get you on there too.
Yeah. The chronovisor is the Vatican's idea of time travel too. So, but that was a Nikola Tesla idea also.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they don't tell you. A lot of the stuff the Vatican has currently, some of it was devised, especially the technology stuff, devised from Nikola Tesla, and they have basically over the years acquired it. Just like the Smithsonian doesn't acquire giants' bones, from burial mounds. Same theory, same theory. For entertainment purposes only, folks.
Yes. 2A, it's the bizarre and the unknown. I keep a lot of that way. So it sounds like this is what you got. Hey, Blue, how's it going? This is what you guys want. So 1:00 Central Standard Time gives me time to get a couple things done around here and to get set up on Rumble. I will do it. We'll get you in there. William wants to come on. I'll bring him on. Robin, if you want to come on, because you know a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about.
Yep.
I'll bring you on as well. You're pretty knowledgeable because you know the same stuff that we know.
Yep. And we don't have to show your face. We could always put up something to where, if you don't want your,
we'll talk a lot about that stuff. Yeah. So a lot of these questions, bring it on the Rumble. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to keep him from getting in trouble. I mean, I love this man too much. and I don't want to see his channel banned over something. So please do not take it the wrong way. I'm not trying to be mean. Yes, it's the old Marine Corps grunting infantryman coming out in me, but I'm really trying to save my brother's show here. We all do, Smurfy. We all do. Yes, for entertainment purposes only. Yeah. So currently it is 11:26 Central Standard Time here. So in an hour and a half. Now you probably have to sign in because you got to have an account to get on Rumble, Freaky.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm trying to
Hey,
make. I'm trying
everybody.
to get caught up on there.
Yeah, we're going to get caught up on all your questions here real quick because we're already into it for almost an hour and 45 minutes. So, and I'm starting to get short-winded, to tell you the truth.
So yeah, and so please, like I said, don't take it the wrong way. I'm not trying to be mean to you guys at all. Sadly, yes, that's why we have Rumble. So anything that we don't have as big a following on Rumble as we do here on YouTube. So that's why a lot of stuff we'll put out here on YouTube. If we get into certain situations, we have to go to Rumble because
Yeah,
we're not monitored on Rumble like we are.
Yeah, it's easier for us to talk about certain subjects on Rumble than it would be on YouTube. YouTube would definitely stifle it. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a live chat on Rumble. I'm getting down to your question too. I'll get it set up.
Thank you, Ida.
But
Thank
yes,
you
there is a
very much,
live
Ida.
chat on Rumble. So all your questions that you have that you want to bring up on this, please bring it to Rumble.
And please like and share this out. So, and
hey, let me know if you wouldn't mind coming on, Robin.
Yeah, Robin, we would want you to come on. Also, if you could tell, your friends about the Rumble channel, that would be great too. That would build up the number of people that actually we could interact with too. But yeah, I'm starting to get short-winded, and so why don't we go ahead and close out and basically, I'm going to try and come on tomorrow. I can't guarantee tomorrow, but I'll try. You'll know if 11 a.m. comes around and I'm on. But I got some things to take care of tonight, late at night, outside. Mm-hmm. So with the video equipment, and so I'll either be later tomorrow, or I'll be on time, one of the two. So depending on how tonight goes. So with that being said, Eric, you want to go ahead and explain everything that we're going to be doing here?
Yeah. So here in an hour and a half, we'll be on Rumble, where we can hit a lot of these questions you guys have been asking for the last couple of days. Okay, Freaky, give me 1 second and I'll get that pulled up for you. I don't have the commands on here like I do on my deal. So we'll go live on Rumble here in an hour and a half. And then tonight, 5 o'clock Central Standard Time on my YouTube channel, The Bizarre and the Unknown, is where we have our, every Saturday we have what's called Campfire Chats with Eric and guest. And 2A, you're following me. I'm trying to get this pulled up so I can, but tonight we're going to is the show where we have a safe place for you guys to share your encounters, and this was created by you, the followers. This what this tonight's show is. I will be talking about my encounter that happened the other night. So if you, I didn't want to talk about it on William's show because I was saving it for my show tonight. But I had some interesting stuff happen here the other day, and I can't. There we go. Now I can copy. I can't. I can't wait to share it, man. It is. God, it was awesome. Just go to Rumble and look up the Bizarre and the Unknown.
Yep. And
I was trying
Nighthawk's
to get
High
the link, but it was
Strangeness.
yeah, I was trying to get my dang link, but I couldn't find my link in here for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Usually I could pull up that link pretty easily, but for now I can't. So I'm doing something wrong. It may be because I'm trying to multitask here. So we'll share what happened to me the other night, which is, I believe, was my first thing that I ever had happen. I won't go into too much detail yet. I mean, I've known about things for a long time, studied them, had experiences, but I haven't had an experience like what happened the other night. So I'm cool to look. Or I can't wait to talk about it. Glad you're not saving it for a rainy day, but today, yeah. And then Sunday on my show, The Bizarre and the Unknown, I'm going to do a Q&A. I don't have a set topic. So Sunday's formal show on The Bizarre and the Unknown, I'm going to do a Q&A. So you guys get to come in, ask me questions about, cryptids, paranormal, supernatural, stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, I could have overbuilt. Yeah, I'm not talking about what happened last weekend, which we can talk about that as well. But I am talking about why can't I not pop that up? That is aggravating the crap out of me.
I just typed
I
mine
actually
in.
had something happen. Yeah, that's one thing I'm going to have to do too. But I had something happen to me that blew my mind, and I was on the phone with DA right when it happened. I've got a video I'll share of the sound of a recording that I captured, and I will talk about everything that happened. So that will be tonight in the Q&A for Sunday. I'm typing in my deal here.
You're welcome, Freaky Geek. Thank you.
There we go. That should pop up in there now. But yeah, so Aaron, here at 1:00 Central Standard Time, it'd be 2:00 Eastern Time. I know you are, buddy. We'll get on here and answer on this other stuff that you guys are wanting to know. That's our place to talk about that. Oh, thank you, Richard. Let me see.
Right, guys.
I was busy in the deal here. I'm not seeing it on this end. Weird. Says page does not found on Rumble. On Williams or mine overbuilt? Let me get back in here. That's kind of aggravating me a little bit. Hey, I see Williams' page.
Yeah, just all you have to do is search it then. Just type in Nighthawks with an S, High Strangeness on Rumble, and you'll find it.
Yeah.
You'll see it'll have the emblem of the rabbit coming out of the hole, the red hole, for Into the Red Rabbit Hole, because that's what that podcast channel is going to be for. Is for all the.
I've got Richard. Yep, I got Richard. Got Camel Dad, Gypsy, Gypsy's and 2A. I've got you guys Seeking the Truth. Oh, that was 10 days ago. Never mind. So yeah, I've got all you guys. You guys are finding it. Yeah, it's the Bizarre and the Unknown. And I'll set that up here in a minute. I'm currently downloading last weekend's investigation. Yes, it's all one word.
Hey, Freaky, there's an
You can
S
try it
in
as one
there.
word, or you can try it separately. Crap.
Tell Freaky that there's
Yeah.
an S after Nighthawks. Nighthawks, high strangeness. It's plural.
Yep.
He's got it typed. Hold on. Don't hit nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
See after where it says Nighthawk, put an S. Okay. So it's Nighthawks, high strangeness. Okay. There's got to be that S there. I had to do it that way. I don't know why, but it wouldn't let me do it any other way.
William has a rabbit on his. Yes, Riley. Mine will have that logo right there.
Yeah, I know, girl on a gong. I'm following you on Rumble.
Yeah. Richard, mine
Yep.
is, and I believe Williams is as well. If you go to my profile, The Bizarre and the Unknown, the same as you do Williams, and you drop that thing down, it has a link to all my social medias. So you should be able to find it in there.
Yep.
I am downloading videos. Once I go through my videos from last week's investigation, I am downloading them onto my Patreon. I rearranged my Patreon. I only have one tier now. It's $3. As I work on my books, they're getting posted on there. Videos I do on investigations are being posted on there. So it gives you guys a chance to look at that stuff. You never know when you might see something that I missed. So I have been working
Let
on
me
that
see.
for a couple days, and I'm every day I'm trying to add more and more stuff to it. And that's my Patreon, The Bizarre and the Unknown.
Let me take a look. Hold on. I'm looking at the.
Awesome, girl.
Let's see.
Okay, let me look.
It's got to come up here.
Where's
Hold on. Let me go. Let me go and see if I can copy it real quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do with her. Copy hers.
Rumble. All right.
Oh, I can't copy and paste because it's highlighted.
Come on.
Oops. Nope, I can't copy and paste it. Quit. Get back up there. Oh, was that you shutting that off? I'm sorry if that was. My my mouse does its own thing sometimes.
My channels.
Red Pill Gen Xer. Found you. Following you. I'm following you, the girl.
All right. Let's see. Moderation. Come on. Seriously? I just want to get the stupid link. Why do they make this so hard to find a damn link?
I know, man. It used to be I was able to find that easy before. I don't know what I'm doing something wrong. I'm obviously doing something wrong. I'm brain
Holy
farting something.
shit.
All right, who was that?
I honestly
Freaky, I just
don't
put
see
it up.
it. Unfreaking believable. I can't find it anywhere on here. Why in the heck would they?
I'm stuck her. Okay. Get back here. Get back to mine. Well, I don't know why I'm having issue finding my link. This is usually I don't have this much issue with this. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. They must have changed something, and I've got to get used to it now.
They definitely changed something. They definitely changed something, dude. They've done something.
Riley, got you, Riley. Riley, you're following me. I see you on here. Riley to Rumble. Yeah, if you see my logo, that's me.
Why
Yeah,
would
sweet
they do
Roxanne.
that? Why would they do
I don't
that?
know, man. I used to be able to go right into, I think it was my settings, if I remember correctly, and I used to be able to copy my link so I could share
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm trying to do, and I can't find it anywhere in here.
Uh-uh.
That is too freaking weird. Um, all right, let me see here. Let me go back to StreamYard. See if this works. Holy shit, it worked.
What'd you do?
No, actually, it didn't. Hold on. It's the wrong damn one. Son of a biscuit. Try that link, Freaky Geek. See if that link will work that I just put up there. What I did is I copied it and I pasted it from my actual page at the icon where I have the rabbit coming out of the hole where it says my name and the account. I just basically right clicked it, copied it, and pasted it.
I've got an idea.
What in the heck did they do then? They really. I can't believe they screwed with it that bad. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I used to be able to go right in there and it was like quick, bam, bam, good go. Oh, damn it. I can't do it this way because I can't post pictures. Never mind.
Let's see. Okay, let me try it again. Let's see what happens.
Freaky Geek, you're following me? Damn, I was going to post a picture of it, but.
There's another one. Try that link. It says live streaming.
Oh, I just thought about that. I can actually, we'll do it on this
Okay,
one.
I'm
here.
out of coffee. I'm out of coffee.
I am too.
So if we're going to do this, we need to get off of here so I can get more coffee. So,
Heck yeah.
Everybody, just keep on checking. We'll see if what we can do on our end to get out the announcement. Okay. So, everybody, we'll see you in a little bit on Rumble. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll see you. Hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to get my drinks refilled, get the animals taken care of, and then get set up, and I'll be on.
All right, guys. We'll see everybody in a little bit.
See you, everybody. Peace, love, and blessings.